tell, particularly in the forwards, and then especially in terms of execution in the halves, and they've got a better back division. So I'm going Wire by 24 points, 36 points to 12 in favour of the Wolves.
I'm pretty similar. This is getting boring anyway. Now that
that's what Super Brew does. It keeps us honest. But to be fair, even if I wasn't doing Super Brew like last year, I wouldn't have picked Wakey to win.
No, but I'm going 30 points to 10, so very similar. Similar reasons. It's that execution factor. Now, Warrington have defended really well and been able to back it up with wins.
Yeah.
They've just got better players to execute those plays. You have to feel, and the faster over the piece, the more skillful over the piece, and the more powerful over the piece, and that's why they're going to win. And they're at home too. 30 points to 10.
Okay, fair play. Hull KR take on St Helens in their second consecutive home game at it's not Craven Park, is it? KC Lightstream Stadium. This is one of the ones that's puzzled me in terms of picking.
And I've just thought
picking a
Roby
result
still isn't
because
playing.
Roby's not playing. But then Hull KR are missing hookers as well. So
Hull KR are missing everything.
Well, they are missing everything, and that ultimately is what swung it for me. Yes, Saints are without Roby, but I think they'll have enough to get over the line against a disseminated Hull KR team that just don't seem to be at the races at the start of the season. So I've gone for a Saints win by 10 points, 20 points to 10 in favour of the visiting side.
Yeah, I
don't see it being a great game to watch.
I don't know. The Roby missing factor is what I forgot when I wrote down my score. But still, having said that, you'd expect they're going to get a little bit more attacking if they stick with the Travis Burns thing, or maybe Theo Farge comes in, which I would hope, because I like Theo as a player. So you got to think they're going to have enough. You've got to think some of these forwards. I don't know if Walmsley's going to be fit, but whatever, you think they've got enough in the forwards, and some of those guys will be smarting a bit from how soft they were made to look. So you'd think that they'd want to come out and really tough up. So for that reason, I'm going to go 28-14 St Helens against Hull KR with a stronger pack toughing up after a soft performance.
Fair enough. Okay, so another side that's coming battered and bruised out of the World Club Series are the Leeds Rhinos, who'll be looking to repeat the successes of their smash and grab raids down to Catalan Dragons. They traditionally fly in to Perpignan and fly out on the same day, don't they, Mark? Which I'm presuming they're going to be doing again this coming Saturday.
And they have as good a record as anyone down in the south of France over the last 2 or 3 years.
They do. But I'm going for a Catalan Dragons win, Mark. I think the Dragons have had a week to rest and work on things and bed in some of their new stars a little bit more. And if this burgeoning halfback combination between Carney and Myler can get clicking, I think that's a better attacking proposition than Jordan Lilly and Liam Sutcliffe. There's similarities in the packs. I think there could be a good battle there, and if Catalan can get over the top of them, then I think that Carney and Myler are more likely to create more than Lilly and Sutcliffe will. So I've gone for the Dragons by 8 and admittedly I think there'll be points. I think there'll definitely be points because Catalan has struggled to defend as well, as good as they look on the ball when they're attacking. 30 points to 22 in favour of Les Dracs for me.
Well, I've gone for a bigger margin, actually.
Really?
Yeah, I think that Catalan have had a lot of things to put right.
I thought you were acting on differently on this.
No.
Right.
Catalan have got a lot of things to put right from the last home game against LFC, obviously.
Yeah.
But you sort of felt like they could have scored more points if a few things had stuck better. So I think if they're a bit more disciplined in their offloading game, and they're a little bit more attuned, maybe from a couple of weeks more practice with some of the combinations in there, then hopefully for their sake some of these plays will come off. And I just think Leeds they're missing. You talked, so one of the people, I can't remember who, talked about a patched up bench room. Was it Cutthroat, Jake, who talked about it?
Yeah.
Now that's going to be even more reduced with another player gone in Garbett. And Garbett was one of the ones they were relying on. And you just got to think that there's going to be a breaking point unless they're going to actually trust people like Mullally to play some minutes. So I'm going to go 32 points to 16 in favour of Catalan. I think their attack will click a bit better, and probably that'll give them a greater weight of possession than they've enjoyed so far this year. And they'll be able to do something with those halfbacks.
Fair enough. Okay, so the final game of the weekend takes place at the John Smith Stadium as the Huddersfield Giants take on the Widnes Vikings. The Vikings are going to be smarting after that defeat to Salford, particularly after their first half performance, but will take some encouragement from the way they came back in the second. Huddersfield, obviously, again, they're another team that are missing some key players through injury, but I think that kind of levels the playing field a touch, so it reduces the margin of victory for me. I'm going to go with the home side. I think Huddersfield will still have too much for this Widnes team. I'm going to go 24 points to 16 in favour of the Giants.
This is the hardest game to pick of the week for me.
Right.
Widnes have been playing really well, and even beaten at Salford, they played well for 50 minutes of that game. It was just they were beaten already.
Yeah.
A lot, like you could argue, before that point. Huddersfield, on the other hand, haven't been playing well, haven't had it all put together, and whilst they had that plucky underdog thing against Wigan, that won't apply in a non-televised game against a Widnes side that they'd be expected to beat by the four people there. So I just think it's really hard to pick, but you can't think that Huddersfield are going to lose 3 games in a row to start the season.
No.
Another game at home, having a bit of time to rest a few of the players up, to give it one more go. And you've also got to think that Widnes' defence won't be at the same level as Wigan's was 2 weeks ago. Yeah. And that, for me, is the clincher. I think Huddersfield will just about be able to score enough points to win the game.
I do.
So I'm going to go 24 points to 20 in favour of Huddersfield.
Oh, that's a close game.
But I'd written out 3 different scores as we went along. One with a bigger Huddersfield win, one with no Huddersfield win, and then... So it's tough for me to pick, but we're going with that 24-20 Huddersfield. Well,
I'll tell you what, Super is certainly keeping us honest in terms of our head-to-head at the moment, isn't it? Fair enough. But if you're at a game this weekend and want to know what's going on elsewhere, our friends at SL Clubs are going to keep you up to speed on everything that's going on across Super League this weekend. You can rely on our friends over there at that wonderful Twitter feed. Championship game of the week, Mark, sees last season's first place team take on last season's second place team as the Bradford Bulls host Lee Centurions down at Odsal Top. What are your thoughts?
Well, it's the standout game of the week. We need to find a fixture where Lee aren't involved in a good one.
Well, I think they are box office in that division, aren't they? And Bradford are the top. Bradford are top of the pile and undefeated. So it stands to reason that's what we picked out.
Exactly, and I think that form that Bradford have been showing the range of options they've got to bring into the pack, because I was looking at something on social media the other day and I was thinking, oh, Crossley, has he been playing?
Yeah, he's not even getting close.
And you just think, well, there's weight of numbers there, and they can bring in some fresh forwards who are gonna do a really good job at that level if they want to, or they can go with the same ones that have been playing already. I'm not sure if Lee have shown the same sort of interchangeability in their side so far this year, and Leah trying to find a way, and did fight for a home win and against London, and congratulations to them for that. But you just think on the road against an informed Bulls side who seem to be playing together and ready for this, I just think Bulls. I'm going to go Bulls by 10, probably in a high scoring 30-20 or something like that kind of score.
I think there'll be points in it. I think it'll be closer than that. I think there's only going to be a score in it, to be honest with you. Lee are an unknown quantity in a lot of senses, but they do have some quality in that, in that team, and they're going to want to get this result. This result is important to them now, even in this early stage of the season. We found last year when the Bulls lost at home in the opening game of the season, it has a big impact because these two teams are so highly thought of and expect to win every time they go out on the park. But the thing is, you touched on it, I like us in the forwards this year. We've got some more rotation. Alolawaki got dropped for the last 2 games, which has come to a great relief to a lot of Bulls fans, and Jimmy seems to be rotating people. Kurt Haggerty got a rest this week. The cheerleader got a rest this week as well. So there's been a little bit more squad rotation going on for what you would call the quote unquote the games that you might expect to win with a rotated squad.
There's no two ways about it.
No game of rugby league is soft, but these are the smaller teams.
But in the Championship, you can pick and choose when you're a Bradford or a Lee with the size of squad you've got and the full-time training you do against a little team like Swinton, as much as I like Swinton more than Bradford. Yeah, and they certainly acquitted themselves well. But I think it's going to be a close one. 24 points to 22 in favour at Bulls. So there you go. That is the world of rugby league well and truly covered for the week. All that remains now for us to do is award Tweet of the Week and wrap up the show.
So, obviously you put the show run together, Mark, and there's 3 candidates for Tweet of the Week. So have we got a joint award?
Well, yeah, we had a joint award of our Tweet of the Week, and then one of our listeners asked us to sort of pick up something that, you know, personally meant something to them, and we like to oblige on these sorts of things, especially when it's a special mention for someone.
Yeah.
So we've got our tweets of the week too. One gives you an opportunity to refresh us on the charity endeavours, because we got a tweet from @Refuge Charity, which is the charity that you're supporting this year through your charity efforts, and they said after you told them about what you were doing, they said, "Oh, thanks, that's so kind, thank you so much. Keep in touch with what you're doing to raise funds, and let's big it up. Thank you so much." So very grateful from them there.
Absolutely, it's great to get their support, and it's been another exciting and encouraging week in terms of doing that. From a personal standpoint, personal bests, and I'm really noticing some gains and some uptick in terms of my fitness and stamina and what I'm able to do when I'm out running, so that's really positive. So I'm looking forward to my next 2 or 3 runs over this week and building on that again. So things are going well in terms of preparing and being able to equip myself well in these challenges that come up. But more encouragingly, the donations keep coming in. We're at 8% of target now, so the better part of 200 quid has already been raised, which is a phenomenal achievement. So we're going to keep plugging away and keep pushing that. You can check out the Just Giving page by going to www.justgiving.com/Super League Pod stands up. If for whatever reason you're unfamiliar with why and what we're doing, on the back of Salford recruitment of Robert Louis, who was a convicted spousal abuser, we decided that rather than calling names for a year and allow it to make us bitter, that I'd do something positive, and I've written a blog, and I'm going to be doing 2 10k runs and also 200km cycle for Refuge, which is the women's shelter charity for families,
I still can't quite
women
believe
and children.
This cycle is going to be epic, isn't it?
It'll be fine, I'm not even worried. Maybe I don't really know exactly what I've let myself in for. Maybe that's why I'm not too bothered about it. But my theory is that by the time I get to October, the running and the general getting fit will stand me in good stead for it. That's what I'm thinking. The other idea I had...
You understand how far 200 kilometres is, don't you?
Yes, about 120 miles.
Yeah.
Right, I can do that. 13 miles, average 13 miles an hour. Get it done in 9 and a bit hours.
Okay.
No problem.
Okay.
You're
going to allow yourself rest, I assume.
Yeah, I'm going to get on to that because I've had an idea and Darren might be excited by it. But the other tweet was from Refuge, so that's the charity that we're doing it for. One of the ideas I had was, because it's a static bike ride, I've got Periscope on my phone. So what I might do is set it up, and you can watch and come in and make comments and stuff. So I might set it up that I do the ride on Periscope, so that people can see it as well. So I'm going to try and find somewhere prominent to do it and raise a bit of cash on the day, but also set up Periscope to run whilst I'm doing it as well, so people can jump in at different times of the day and come and take a look. We'll see.
Yeah, we've got time for thinking about that.
Oh, it's a lot. It's a long way away. Okay, so that was one of the tweets of the week. What was the other one, Mark?
Well, the other one was Chris McEwen. He at Chris McEwen 80 for those who want to follow him. He said, this is also when he got home on Saturday. He said, "My missus just said, what? You met 2 guys in a pub that you've only met on the internet? You know that sounds a bit weird."
And if that was all it was, then I'd agree with Mrs. McEwen. But we feel like family. We feel like we know each other.
We've encouraged him through his beard growth endeavours.
We've taught him to grow a beard, which you appear to have told him he has to shave off, and we've been in his ears for
2 years.
Over 2 years, exactly. We're fixtures in the McEwen-Keown household.
Yeah.
Although apparently not according to his missus, who seems not to difference.
So he doesn't tell about anything.
That's alright, you've got to have your secrets, Chris. That's what keeps it spicy. Right, will you handle the next one for us, please?
Yeah, so Paul Lewis got in touch with us, and it was a message that kind of meant something to him, a little bit heartfelt, gave him a smile, gave him a little bit of cheered him up and made him feel better. So it wasn't a tweet to us, but it was a tweet from Kevin John Brown, who is Kevin Brown,
yes,
the Widnes skipper. And the Widnes Magic shirts this year, you can pay and you'll get your name put on it, and then it goes to it's £10 a go, and the Sir Bobby Robson Foundation is the charity it raises money for, but your name's on the shirt. And Ludo's paid to put his mum's name on the shirt to sort of show respect to his mum and how much of a star she's been at the moment. And he said, I'll be a proud... this is what Kevin tweeted to Ludo. He said, "I'll be a proud man having your mum's name on my shirt. Thanks for all the support and good luck to her." So
that's terrific. And again, that's another example of how great rugby league is, and rugby league players are, that they're accessible enough for stuff like that, and they recognise the individual things that people are doing and going through. So, terrific.